Thank you all so much for coming out to the latest show with Ronny Pascale. I am Ronny Pascale. Guys, today I went outside at 7 p.m. My neighbors clapped and cheered, and I'm like, it's going to be my year. Just kidding. We're going to start with some topical jokes. A robot dog in Singapore has been reminding park goers to socially distance. Otherwise, they'll be doing more than playing dead. Ugh, too soon on that one? Sorry, y'all. I know this is supposed to be a lighthearted show. A deer in India crashed through a family's roof, leaving the kids in the house to believe in Santa once again. I like that you guys are laughing because I don't feel confident with these jokes. And I need this for my validation. It's been reported that the most viral genre on Pornhub right now has been coronavirus porn, and they have the antibodies to prove it. You guys could boo if you want to. I'm okay with it. Protesters in Florida worked out on the sidewalk outside of a courthouse today protesting for gyms to reopen. One demonstrator says he has the right to bare his arms. Not a fan of these people. All right, last joke. Police in West Yorkshire, Britain ask that you stop calling to say that you're out of hot water, which ironically is the punishment for those calling. Excuse me. I'm going to take that whole joke over because I effed up. Police in West Yorkshire, Britain ask that you stop calling to say that you've run out of hot water. Ironically, the punishment for calling is you end up in hot water. Guys, thank you so much. We have a really... Oh, no, I have one more joke. I wrote this joke last minute. Now, last joke. Last month, the sky above an Arizona city turned purple from a marijuana farm in the area catching on fire, and what some are calling the purple haze. Yep. All right, now you guys can boo. Guys, our first comedian is trying to record a comedy album on Zoom on May 29th. Give it up for Will Abeles.
Yay!
Hey, yay for me. Oh, boy. Yeah, I'm going to try and record this thing on May 29th, and it's going to be, it could be the greatest comedic disaster since Mulaney aired on Fox. So we'll see what, we'll see what happens. Oh, boy, here we are. We did it, right? Just as planned. 31 and single. Huh? Hell yeah. That's what I wanted when I was a kid. Now quarantined? Sure, add it in there. You know, am I going to die alone? Yeah, it looks like it. It looks like that's happening. I wasn't always on this path of sadness. I got on this path because not too long ago I went through a life-shattering breakup. Yeah, isn't that fun? Love thinking about that every night alone with my thoughts. That's fun. But no, it's all right. It was mutual, which is what you say when she dumps you, you know. But it was interesting to see. It was interesting to see how much time or how little time people were willing to give me to get over the breakup. Like my mom and dad were the exact opposite. Like even now, sometimes my mom calls me, or these days just yells from the other room. She's just like, "Hey, how you doing? You holding up all right?" I want you to know I unfollowed her on Instagram. I'm on your side. I'm like, oh, brave. So brave, Mom. Thank you. My dad was different. My dad gave me 3 weeks. He gave me 3 weeks to get over a 4-year relationship that I thought was going to end in marriage. He overheard my mom and I talking about it one day, and he just cut us off and was like, hey, we still talking about this shit? Get over it already. Move on. I was like, Dad, you know, like it was so hard. Like she was my best friend. And he was like, you want to hear something? I married my best friend and she barely talks to me. Mom was like, well, maybe if you accepted my Facebook friend request, Billy. My dad's Facebook, there's no picture. It's just a generic gray logo. It says Bill with no last name, and then says married to Beverly Abeles, but she's not tagged because they're not friends on Facebook. Making things very tense here in the house. But I'm quarantined back in Hagerstown, Maryland. I'm back in Hagerstown, Maryland, and I'm currently living with my parents and my youngest brother and sister. My youngest brother and sister, there's 4 of us total, but my youngest, they are 10 and 12 years younger than me. So this is the first time we've lived together since they were 6 and 8 years old. And I got to tell you, I liked them a lot more back then. I prefer the smaller version of them. You know, if Corona doesn't kill us, I'm going to. It's getting tough. But I don't know. We last year we went on this family vacation. We all get together once a year. We do a family vacation, and my dad picks it out. And last year we went to Moab, Utah. We went to the desert in August. We went to the middle of the desert in August because my dad doesn't know how the earth works. I don't know what that decision making was all about. But we got there, and I'm going to be honest, it was glamping. It wasn't just camping, So it was like I still had to wear my Columbia boots, but I could wear crushed cotton shorts if I so desired, But all my siblings and I, we had to share one tent, and it had these beds in it. And because it is the middle of the summer and the middle of the desert, they had these water misters above your head. But at 10 p.m., they turn them off so they can try and conserve water, Like they want to help the environment now, but fuck me at the moment, right? So to try and keep yourself cool, they give you a wet washcloth and this little mini fan. And my one brother, Charlie, he was with us, and he's a wildlife scientist. And I don't talk about him a lot in my sets because he's not my favorite brother. But he was like, if we all circumvent the fans, the air will. And we were all like, you know what, Charlie, honestly, the best part of this vacation was the couple of days you weren't on it. Like, just shut up. Just shut up. Mad, she's real good at problem solving. She just kind of melted into her bed, and every once in a while I'd hear her whisper, this could have been the Bahamas. So she really handled that well. She's going to do great things for the world. So I was thinking, all right, I could probably figure this out. So I put the wet washcloth on my chest, and I went back. And I was like, well, if I'm on my back, I might snore. So I rolled to my side. And then I was like, yeah, but if I'm on my side, I might roll to my other side. Then I got to move the washcloth. And as I'm trying to figure this out, all of a sudden I hear snoring. And I look over, and my 19-year-old brother, Kevin, is face down. He is completely naked. He has the wet washcloth on his back, and he has the fan propped between his leg, blowing straight across his asshole. And then he slept for 9 straight hours. Like, I thought he was the smartest, but now I'm going to have to start questioning some things. That was a fun vacation. Remember being outside? That's really what that story is about. I don't know. They're telling people don't text your ex during quarantine, so I'm trying not to do that. But I did do one thing that was kind of, I don't know, maybe you've tried it too. You guys remember FaceApp from last year? Remember the app you could download to see like you look like we got old? Did anyone else take a picture of them and their ex, run it through FaceApp, and then send it to them so they could see what it looked like if you guys were old together like they had promised? I was trying that. Aha, it's like, happy Monday, babe. Here's a brush with your mortality and a reminder of a life never lived. Also, heads up, turns out you age like a fine wine and daddy does not. Oof, I got to cut the drink now. It's not looking good. I don't know. It was a tough relationship to get over because I genuinely thought it was the last relationship I was ever going to be in. And good news. There's a chance it still might be. It's looking like it. I don't know. Dating wasn't all that bad. It was just weird. Like I was on a date once without saying anything about my last relationship, which is just crazy because it's all I talk about these days. The girl looks over at me and she just goes, oof, put a number on you, huh? I was like, how can you tell? She's like, you just have this sadness about you. But I gotta tell you, I think it's kind of hot. And I was like, what, next you're going to tell me you can guess my astrological sign? And she was like, well, based on your knack for adventure and your restless soul, you're clearly a Sagittarius. And I was like, you're terrifying, and I think I love you. But I thought about what she said about there being this power in sadness. So I used to do this thing whenever I was lonely. I would go to Whole Foods, which is above my budget, but not above my overall demeanor. And I would go up to the meat counter, and I wait until an attractive girl walks up. And then I'd order a rump steak, which I do think sounds like the saddest steak. And then when the butcher said, you want 1 cut or 2? I'd always go, 2. Oh, wait. I forgot. Looking for 1 tonight. And every night from here on out. And that worked 0 times. That worked 0 times. But it was fun. It's an expensive habit, though. I got to cut that one down instead of 5 times a week. My heart was killing me for multiple reasons. You're not supposed to eat that much red meat. But the one date went well. We ended up having sex afterwards. You guys remember sex? Oof, God. We had sex, and then she gave me a compliment, sort of. I don't know. I'll let you guys be the judge. So we finished up, which is the only way I know how to describe what happens there. And based on some of your expressions, I do think I had to explain that. It's been a little while. We finished up, and she looks over at me, and she goes, I've never orgasmed during sex before. And I almost did that time, so I thought I'd tell you. I was a pretty good student growing up, but that is the happiest I've ever been to get a B+ my entire life. All right, thanks, guys. That's my time. Thank you.
Guys, give it up for Will Labels. Woo! You've seen this next performer at the Boston Comedy Arts Festival. Give it up for Kristin Seltman. Ow!
Hi everyone. Thank you so much for having me.
Hello, how are you?
I love doing Zoom shows. I did a Zoom roast 2 weeks ago, and it was amazing because now all I see is my chin.
Oh.
Oh, just what I needed, a new insecurity. Thank you so much, quarantine times. Oh man, I am with my mom upstate quarantining, and it's getting real Grey Gardens-ish up in here. We are now sleeping in the same bed every night, so that is a thing that happens. But yeah, no, it's been pretty boring, except I actually, I did get both fired and dumped on a Google Hangout. Thank you so much.
Oh, no.
I can tell you a way to know you're getting fired on a Google Hangout is if your boss asks you to meet for a quick sync and you go to log on and all of HR is already on the call. That is bad news, Bears. I should have just not joined. So if your boyfriend tells you he wants to meet for a quick sync, just don't go to that one either. The minute you're dating someone they use terms like quick sync, it is problematic. So yeah, that's fun. I like reaching out to their exes. Like, I feel like I'm really proud of myself for not doing that, but it's also like, which one would I reach out to? The actual psychopath or the one that was uncircumcised? How do you choose? It's just so rough. I'm really excited for when this ends and we get to start dating again. That's the most sarcastic thing I've ever said. I much prefer sleeping with my mom. You know, dating is the worst. I'm scared to do it again, but like there are those magical moments in dating, right? Like when you like someone, they take you back to their apartment and you see where they live and you're like, hey, sir, why is your bed a hammock? Like, I don't understand. Why is your dining room table an unpacked Amazon box? Like, and what is in there? What's that? Adult men are terrifying. Yeah. You know, my last boyfriend, he was introducing me to people as his girlfriend. So we had like that talk where I was like, hey, you keep calling me your girlfriend. Is that what I am? And he was like, no, it was just easier to introduce you as girlfriend than friend. I was like, how is that easier though? It's a whole extra word. You know what I mean? Like, this just doesn't seem fair. Oh man, I can't wait for all that fun stuff to happen again. I'm really great. Last time I was dating my mom, I was actually getting over a breakup too. I made a big mistake and let that guy move in with me. Yeah, you find out a lot about someone real quick when you're living with them. Like right away, he found out that I had bad credit. He was like, babe, you get a ton of mail. Like, what is this? And I found out that he was a pathological liar. This guy, he lied so much, the stuff he said, like, stopped even making sense. One night we were in bed and he was like, Kristin, I know I'm going to marry you because you're the only woman who's ever made me come. And I was like, but you have 4 kids. When I first met him, he told me he had 3 or 4 kids. That's really what he said. And I remember telling my best friend, and she was like, wait, 3 or 4? Like, you don't know how many, or he doesn't know how many. And I was like, listen, he's 6'2". You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't care about these small details when a guy's that tall. It turned out that was another lie. That guy was like 5'9". I can't tell how tall men are. So that's the thing about me. If I had known that, I would not have let him cheat on me that last time. Yeah, I don't know if he ever found out about the 4th kid, but I do know he knows everything in the whole world about squatters' rights. So that was fun. I had to give him my apartment for a time and move back in with my mom. That was less terrifying than this because now, like, that had a definite end date. Right? It was like, he just has to, like, his other girlfriend just has to make room for him, you know? And now it's like, when can I leave here? I don't know. Yeah, I really do have bad, like, do you guys ever meet somebody and they tell you their parents didn't love them? And then you like get to know them and you're like, I get it. Right? That is my exes, like all of them. Great. My mom is okay, but usually there's a buffer, right? It's usually not just us. That buffer is not my dad. He is remarried in Florida. No, it is my big Italian family. on my mom's side, I'm Italian. So whenever I am here, there's usually big Italian family meals where I usually have to decide who I'm going to sit next to, the racist, the sexist, the one who runs the pyramid scheme. I would pick pyramid scheme every time, right? You get free shakes. And those things are not cheap. But I got stuck next to the sexist. I have a cousin, Brad. He is a men's rights activist. This is true. He is fighting the good fight. I was sitting next to him and he asked me, he was like, Kristin, do you know that there's a war on men? And I was like, Brad, do you know there's a war on your and you are losing ground? I'm like, really? But he kept going. He wasn't deterred by that. He was like, no, seriously, there's a war on men. Like, how do you feel about it? And I was like, I feel like we need to send more troops, honestly. I miss my pyramid scheme family. That's my cousin, Corey. He is involved in the biggest pyramid scheme of them all. He sells heroin. Or he'll tell you it sells itself, guys. His shakes make me real sleepy. But, he no, send him off to rehab. And when he came back, I asked him, I was like, hey, Corey, like, what does it feel like being on heroin? And he told me, he said, it feels like you're wrapped in a hug of warm towels. I was like, whoa, I get it. That feels amazing. But that is also a feeling that you're can do very cheaply and safely, like in your own home. You know what I mean? That's what I am going to do after this, actually. My mom will be really excited that I am just doing laundry. Yeah, another thing about staying with my mom, you guys, like, my mom doesn't eat. Is this like a thing parents do? I have no idea. She doesn't eat. And I eat constantly because it fills this hole inside of me. Anyway, so, but like, I was eating today and she was like, oh, you're eating again? You already ate today. And I was like, that was breakfast. This is lunch. Like, why don't you understand how this works? It was real weird. My sister, she is a vegan and she's like very into fitness and health and all of this stuff. She said to me recently, she was like, I'm so fit that I don't even get my period anymore. And I was like, that's not what that means. Like, yikes. But my sister, yeah, she told me before she was vegan that she was only eating free range chicken. She was like telling me that she would only eat free range chicken. I remember asking her why. And she told me, she was like, it's healthier. Like, and it's nicer. It's more humane to the chicken. And I asked her, I was like, why is that so? Like, isn't it better to eat like the chicken that like didn't have a good life? Like, you're eating this chicken that like chills outside. The chicken like age. Right? It's like they keep pumping me full of drugs and they keep making me have sex with my dad. And that's who I'm eating. Like, that chicken wants to die. You know, it feels more humane. I have pets. I have 2 dogs. The second one was unplanned. I was at a bar. Remember bars? Remember when you used to go to bars and drink by yourself? I miss those days a lot. I was doing that at a bar, and the bartender was talking to me, and then this guy came in. He was like a cowboy or something. He had like a hat on. He was from like Pennsylvania. He had a whole accent and everything. And he was just like, hey, like, you're too pretty to sleep alone anymore. And I was like, I know. I've been saying this for years. Thank you so much. And he was like, I want to take you back to my place and like help you with this. So he took me back to his place, which was a dog rescue. And that is how I got my other dog. I love my dogs. I'm obsessed with them. I told my boyfriend a while ago, like, if we ever got married, I want to have the dogs in the wedding, like as groomsmen. And he was like, that's really weird. And also, like, I don't want to marry you. Stop talking about it so much. So I was like, okay. And then I had to like call it off, and they had already had several fittings. So it was really a waste of money there. But yeah, I'm trying to like make male friends. I think that's the thing I want to do when I get out of here. Maybe you guys will be my friends. Please. But the guy friends I have, they're comics too. And they're just like, I don't know if I'm just in with a bad crew, but they always talk about like if they would suck each other's dick for $1 million. I don't know. That's like a normal conversation that people have, or just these guys. But here's the thing, like, I'll be honest, right? I'm a lady. I don't know if you can tell. I am. And I have sucked a dick because I was asked real nice. You know? So I don't know why these guys, they've never done this thing before. I don't know why they think they have the skill set to merit $1 million. Right? It's no wonder men make so much more than women. Well, that is my time. Thank you so much for having me.
Guys, keep it going for Kristin. Guys, our next comedian can be seen on the Turnpike Comedy Festival on Amazon Prime. Clap your hands together for Ethan Feldman.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Ronnie. Thanks for having me on tonight.
Thanks for being here.
Zoom shows are fun. It's Zoom shows are kind of weird because it kind of made me realize in a way that the New York City comedy scene was kind of crappy. Like I was out all the time, like busting my ass, and I didn't really care about money. But then like I did a couple shows last week, and I got Venmo donations, and I was like, oh my god, I paid more money doing Zoom comedy than I have doing actual comedy at this point.
I love it.
That's funny. So my wife cut my hair in quarantine, so that's cool. Came out okay. I'm actually in Florida right now, quarantining my wife's childhood home, and it's funny. I didn't even plan on being down here for quarantine. It just like happened that way. Like I worked out with my job. I was gonna work remotely. Then we got down here, and like I opened up my phone after the plane landed, which is the first thing you do always. And I saw like Apple News was like first cases of coronavirus in New York. We were like, holy shit. Hashem is looking out for us. I'm Jewish, surprise. So, but I'm also an animal person. I have a cat, and my brother has a cat too. And I was like begging with my brother to wash my cat because the last time this happened, didn't get along. So my brother was like, no, I'm not going to do it. I was like, I'll pay you. So he told me it was $300. I was like, okay, I'm going to pay you $300. You can wash my cat. It's way better than like a shelter. And now it's changed to $300 a month because I know how I'm going to be down here for. So by the time this is over, I'm going to owe my brother a lot of money. But I told my brother, if my cat dies while I'm gone, I'm not going to pay him. Like, that doesn't seem fair to me. But I'm working remotely full time, doing all these like virtual meetings on Zoom, and I don't really care about going out. I'm not doing anything, I'm just working. I stay in the house all day. And my wife said to me one day, she was like, do you think your coworkers notice that you just wear the same shirt every day? And I hadn't even really thought of that, but they probably noticed. But we actually had like a virtual happy hour. My company was trying to like, I don't know, make things happy. Had these different rooms you can go in. It was like the whiskey room if you're drinking whiskey, the general hangout room, the beer garden. And we don't have any like alcohol down here, so I've just been not drinking. And I went into the beer garden just to like see what people were doing. People were talking, and then this guy shows up, and I don't know who this dude is. He's from another office. Shows up, and he's just totally shirtless. And it's like everyone in the room just goes completely silent, and the guy looks at his camera, and he has this look of complete panic on his face, and then he just leaves the meeting. It was like 10 seconds, and that was the highlight of my week last week. Pretty funny. I also had to run my family's Zoom Seder for Passover, which was pretty hilarious because it's like all my older relatives trying to figure out how to use technology. Like we had the Zoom meeting. My aunt like at one point had the camera like up her nose. She was like, I don't know if this is on or not. I don't know. It's funny. I've had some observations recently, not even really related to coronavirus, but you guys know those people that like they'll eat a bad food and then they say that the food goes to a certain part of their body. You know, like, if I eat this croissant, it'll go straight to my hips.
Mm-hmm.
If I eat this hot dog, it'll go straight to my thighs. Oh, if I eat this bagel, it'll go straight to my ass. Well, I've started a new diet where I eat a dozen donuts a day. And if people ask me why I do it, I'm going to do that to myself. I'll just say, it's cool. These donuts are going to go straight to my dick. Good plan right there. Being in Florida is kind of rough though because it's really, really hot down here, and I suffer from eczema. So my eczema is like really bad right now, and I don't know if anybody else has eczema or knows what that is, but it sucks. It sucks so much having eczema. like I'm always itching all the time, but it burns so good, so I just keep itching. Like this vicious cycle. Like my friends think I'm high, like all the time. I've been at parties before, and I'm just like scratching my arms, rubbing my eyes. People are like, "Yo, what are you on, man? Hook me up." I'm like, no, I just have eczema. I don't carry drugs, just Gold Bond. But it's not all bad though. It's really not all bad. I found out that my wife has eczema too, so now we just itch together.
Aw.
Very romantic, right? I'll scratch her, she scratches mine. And I found out that she had eczema because when we were like first dating, she was moving into my place and unpacking her toiletries. And I looked at her and I went, oh my God, is that cortisone 10? Ooh, I think I met my soulmate here. It is kind of weird though. It's kind of weird. So my wife has eczema and my ex-girlfriend had psoriasis. I don't know if that's worse, but then once I dated a girl with shingles, and I just don't get it. It's like, why are all these girls just not comfortable in their own skin? And more importantly, what is it about me that just screams, date me if you have a fucking rash? like I'm Jewish, not Jewish, right? That's corny, yeah. I've been seriously thinking about starting a dating app. I'm gonna call it Plenty of Itch. Itchysingles.com. You can scratch to the left, scratch to the right. Christian Shingles. I don't know the name yet, but I know the slogan for the app. It's going to be the one dating app where you're supposed to flake. pretty horny. People are going crazy right now. Like, I've heard some crazy conspiracy theories from people about coronavirus. I've heard one where it's like, oh, coronavirus is real, but we're in quarantine right now to help to make sure the government can bust an international pedophile ring. That's the latest one that I heard that's been making the rounds on the internet. And I think people just, I don't know, they're just bored. They have a lot of time on their hands. And like, I hate this all. Like I want to go outside and I want to do things and I just want to see people. And as much as I hate this and it's all terrible, what I really hate is like the fake news that's spreading about the virus. Like, I feel like the fake news is spreading faster than the virus at this point. And like, I really hate to use the word like boomers. I hate that term, but these fucking old people, they spread the shit like VD. And I'm not talking, and I mean like verbal diarrhea here, okay? And I get it. They're trying to be helpful, but spreading this fake shit does more harm than good, in my opinion. Like, I got the same fake shit sent last week by 3 different people. One of them was like an older comic, and my question is, why is every piece of fake news about the virus spread by old people like a screenshot of a text message that was like sent through like a shit filter on Instagram? I don't understand how these things spread around. But this old comic sent me this one thing about ibuprofen. It was like a text message of ibuprofen, and then I was like, this isn't true. Here's an article. And we got into like a little bit of an argument about it. And she was like, no, it is true. And I was like, it's not true. And she was like, yes, it is. I was like, how do you know? She was like, my sister told me. And I was like, oh, okay. I guess that I can't argue with you there. But my cousin told me that it's not true. And I trust my cousin more than I trust your sister. And she was like, oh, well then, is your cousin a doctor? And I was like, no, but like, if a doctor said it, wouldn't you think that's true? And she was like, no, I don't trust doctors. Okay. I guess I don't understand. It's I think that's all my time. So yeah, thanks for having me on.
Thanks for being here. Keep it going for Ethan. Guys, that is our show. Clap it up for Will and Kristin and Ethan. All right, while this is streaming, I'm going to put their Venmo bars at the bottom. Feel free to tip your favorite comedians all of the money that you have. Even if you didn't like them, tip them. I'm not saying anyone was bad here because everyone was amazing, so they deserve more money. Every time I stutter, I'm going to start blaming it on internet buffering. So I didn't actually stutter. My computer glitched right there. Cool. Good night. Bye.